And we got quite a bit of people already in here.
All right.
Oh. Now we got 10 people in here. All right, guys. Welcome to another episode number 15 of What's in Your Tackle. Appreciate you all coming in here. Make sure you all share this out. Give the big thumbs up. If you ain't subscribed, make sure you are to the channel for our upcoming lives and stuff we're going to be having. And please give a warm little welcome to Cory, the Flatty Daddies.
How's it going, guys? It's good to be on here.
So what have you been up to lately?
Been trying to get out fishing. It's just a busy time of year. I think everybody fights that in the summer. But yeah, I've been fishing here and there, going for flatheads. Just did a blue cat fishing trip. But yeah, it's July, so it's a lot of family time right now and a lot of work. But
oh yeah.
I think that's most people's life right now.
So. All right. If you don't mind, we're going to jump in here and we'll see how many people, we'll say hi to everybody that's in here and chat real quick. We've got Chris Uselton was the very first one in the show today, saying that he got his reminder set. We got Avid, the Country Boy. You were in here earlier. We got Richard. We've got Brian B. We've got Avid. There's Fishing with the Squirrels. Go on, Squirrel. Let's see who else we got coming in here. We got my buddy Trey with Fishmack. We just hit the creek this Sunday. He came all the way up from Tennessee. Drove 3 hours to come hit the creeks with me here in Kentucky. Wow. So we had an awesome day. We got on 4 smallies and a green sunfish.
Hey,
so it wasn't a bad day. About 6-hour walk on the creek.
It's always fun. There's nothing beats that. That's a blast.
Oh, I love it. We got Mike Turner in the house. We got 3+1 Outdoors. Mr. Larry is in the house. My neighbor Ethan is in here saying hello. We got Paul Meadow. Kevin's in the house. Welcome, Kevin. Appreciate you coming in here. Uncle Lou is in the house. Love the rods, man. Love the rods. He's got some new rods out. Giving Chunky a run for his money on his new rods. So let's see. I think that is it. I believe we've got everybody. Fins and Foul just jumped in. All right, man. Tell us a little bit about yourself and where you're fishing at mostly.
All right. Yeah, so it's the Flatty Daddies. It's me and my brother-in-law, Chad. And, he gets out as much as he can. He's also got a family. But we fish the Susquehanna River primarily, targeting flatheads. But in the winter, we do a lot of channel cat fishing. And then we get down on the Potomac a lot. And especially me in the winter, I get down there and target those big blue cats. And then lately, I've been fishing the lower Susquehanna where the blue cats have moved in below the Conowingo Dam. And they're not as big as the Potomac, but they're thick in there. There's a lot of them. So we fish those primarily. We also get down on the Schuylkill River down Phoenixville, like the Philadelphia area.
Yeah.
Mostly Pennsylvania, but we do get down Maryland and do some fishing down there. So, yep.
We got Angel Hawk joined in, and we got Maurice Kaysen in the house. Appreciate you all coming in. And there's Zachary. What's going on? He said they hit hard down on the lower Susquehanna.
Yeah, they do, so. Zach. He's pretty familiar down there. He just took a trip down there, and they made out pretty well. So
yeah, pretty cool. Now there's Big Mike. We got 18 awesome people in here. There's Elliot Surfins. He's from my area. Me and him go catfishing a couple times now, so we're trying to get on some big ones. down here. We've got basically channels and flatheads, so we're pumped about mid-July, end of July. They're really going to be hitting hard down here.
Yeah.
So
It's good. Yeah, finally getting back into feeding heavily and everything. They get pretty sluggish there for a while. It's rough.
Yeah. So you mostly do a lot of boat, right?
Yeah. I always say, I got the boat payments. I may as well make it worthwhile, So,
Gotcha.
yeah, I like bank fishing. I have a lot of respect for bank fishermen. It's hard. You can't just pick up and go to another spot. You really got to be strategic where you go. And I have a lot of respect for people that can consistently get on fish from the bank.
Yeah. So what kind of boat do you use?
So I have it's only a 16-foot. It's a Crestliner Storm. So it's a modified V with a jet outboard on it, 60-40 jet outboard, because Susquehanna's all rock. That's just all it is. So if you run a prop, it's going to get expensive. I learned that the hard way. So, but yeah, it's a modified V aluminum boat.
Gotcha.
Does the job. It's, I wish it was bigger. I think everybody who owns a boat wishes theirs was bigger. But
oh yeah, always. Yeah. Somebody posted something the other day on one of the groups that says that something about they have a $80,000 boat being pulled by a $70,000 truck pulling away from their $500,000 home. Yeah, they said something about it's like, what cartel do you work for? And are they hiring?
In debt for life there.
Yeah, I was like, golly. But yeah, there's a Lyle from Catfish Weekly. Chunky's in the house. Appreciate you, Chunky, jumping in, man. Appreciate you. Guys, make sure you share this out. Hit the thumbs up, because it's gonna be an interesting show tonight. Definitely. Like Cory's already posted out. I know he shared it out with a little bit of a hint. There is a big announcement going on tonight regarding, most of y'all probably already know, but it's going to be regarding the Doc Demon Challenge. We'll get into that here later on toward the end of the show. There's Patriot James. Appreciate you coming in here, sir.
Hey,
24 people in the house.
Wow.
There's Cody. There's Cody Robinson. Said Flatty Daddies. What's up, brother? Yep. So, all right, we'll get right into it. Like we always talk about, this is tackle. So we always start at the very bottom and work our way back toward the reel and the rod. So let's start with hooks. What are some of the hooks that you like using?
Okay, I brought some props along with me here, so I really like these Mustad Demon Circles. They're kind of pricey, but since I switched to them. They're I don't know, they work really well. My hookup ratio has really gone up.
I might be able to hook you up with a bunch of those.
Oh yeah,
my buddy Trey from Fish Mac bought one of those 5-gallon buckets full of those.
Okay. Oh wow!
He's got a ton of them. So we'll get you hooked up and we'll make sure see if we can get you on some more of those.
Hey, that's good. They're hard. They're hard to come by right now. They've been sold out forever. You can get the and I got these too. You can get the regular ones. They're not the Ultra Point versions, and they're pretty good. But these Ultra Points have been sold out since I can remember. I finally got a 4-pack of them. I thought I struck gold. So I'd be interested.
He got like a clearance deal or something and bought like a big 5-gallon bucket full of them.
Well, I hope he doesn't give away all of them because they're good hooks. Hopefully he tries them out.
I think there's probably 1,000-something sets of them in there.
Wow. Yeah. Okay.
He ain't gonna use them all up. So.
Okay. Oh. And I use them in the 10-aught size mainly. I also have some 8-aughts. And 10-aught sounds really big, but the Mustads run pretty small actually. These 10-aughts are about the same size as like an 8-aught Cat Max hook. For reference. So
there he is. Trey says he's got 3 buckets full of them. So there you go.
All right, we'll have to talk.
Yeah, definitely. So you normally use that size just because most of the time you're going after the big, large flatheads.
Yeah, flatheads and the blue cats. They got those big tooth patches, whatever you want to call them, and it takes a big hook to get around the really big ones.
Yeah.
Especially if it doesn't get them quite in the corner. If it gets down on the lower part or upper part, you got that big patch that you got to get around. So
Yeah.
I do like that. Now, if for some reason I can only get into smaller baits, I will downsize just because I like to match the hook to the bait. And channel cats, obviously, I downsize, and we can talk about that. I generally use like 6/0 for those. But I'm usually using the bigger size hooks.
Okay. Coming right off of that, what kind of knot you like using on your hooks?
Okay, so I use the the no knot snell, where you basically you go down through, twist it around, pull it back out. You run your leader through there, and then I use a polymer knot to put it on my swivel.
Gotcha.
And then the improved clinch knot when I attach my main line to the swivel hook or to the swivel.
So when you come off of that, are you using some kind of a Santee rig or any of those? Or
sometimes, especially down on the Potomac, I like to use a Santee or at least a float because it's a little bit sandier and muckier down there, and I like to keep it up out of that crap. Where I'm at on the Susquehanna, it's mostly rock, like I said, so don't really need to have the floats. I don't think it hurts. A lot of people use them. I usually, you're just going to lose your line, your hook anyway, because you're going to get snagged up. So I don't get too fancy with them up here. I tried those demon dragon things out for a while, and I was just like throwing money in the river,
especially being rocky and stuff like that. I mean, you're just gonna snag and get hooked up. Yeah.
There's places where you don't have a lot of structure. Yeah, I think floats and the rattles and all that, it doesn't hurt. It's not bad using it, but up my way, I just don't bother with it too much.
Yeah. Chris Uselton's got your first question for you. It says, do they allow noodle fishing where you go?
I've never looked up the regulations. Not many people do it. I've heard of some people doing that because it is shallow in a lot of areas and you can probably noodle them pretty well. I don't know what the regulations are for that. I know I did it once when I was tubing, and I don't think I'll do it again. I saw a channel cat go under a rock, and I went down there and went for him, and I didn't realize they attack you when you put your hand in their hole. that woke me up a little bit.
Yeah. So Zachary says that it's not legal in Pennsylvania.
Okay. Well, he would know. He's from the same area, so.
Okay. Cool.
So no, I didn't do that with the channel cat then.
Gotcha. Yeah, guys, if you've got questions, post them up. Make sure you put a question mark before the question and after, so that way I can pick it up out of the chat. So I'm watching it. So we're coming off that, and you said normally you don't use kind of any kind of rig like something like that, or with the demon dragons and stuff like that. Especially like you said, it's waste of money from where you're at in the areas you're fishing. Or what kind of weights are you using?
Yes, generally I use these coin weights here, anywhere from 4 to 6 ounces on the Susquehanna, and then on the Potomac it's tidal where I fish. So that when that tide's going, it gets really strong. I'll throw 10 ounces on sometimes, and even that's not really enough. I mean, I know people use 16 ounces down there. So, but yeah, typically these coin anchors. Now I have been drifting a little bit more lately. And like I said, I got a bunch of props here, but I got some of these dragon weights, and I'm liking them. They don't seem to get hung up too much. They're pricey, so I don't use them up on the Susquehanna much. But when I've been drifting the lower Susquehanna and the Potomac, I've been using them a lot, and it's really working out pretty well.
Yeah.
And then if I suspend, I typically use the coin or bank sink or something like that, just because it's less to get tangled up. I feel like these long things could get wrapped up in your leader if you're suspending. So.
Yeah. Chris Houston asked if do you bank fish at all?
Well, yeah, I do, especially for bait fish. I mean, every flathead fisherman bait fishes, so I'm constantly doing that. And I used to bank fish a lot. I still do it about once a year, and I go carp fishing sometimes. And there's a creek near me; it's loaded with carp, and I'll go out there a couple times a year and bank fish. It really is fun. I just, I'm familiar with my boat and where to put the boat, in my waters where I can catch the fish. So I typically do that.
Yeah.
There's not a whole lot of bank access on the Susquehanna. There's some, but it's, there's usually people there. So it's nice having that.
My brother's fishes down in the Susquehanna, down in Haven Grace and that area. So it's you don't get very many spots. No.
No, yeah, he struggles down there with that. I know. So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yep.
But with you using those kind of the weights and stuff, what structures are you looking at when you're throwing those? Are you shooting into shallow? Are you going into the deep channels or what?
Okay, so yeah, it kind of depends on where I'm fishing, like which river. Up here on the Susquehanna, I'm definitely targeting structure, and like I mentioned, it's rock. So usually I'm looking for a hole. It doesn't really matter the depth so much. I mean, certain times of the day, I'll be looking for deeper holes versus shallow, but I'm looking for a hole with structure in it. And it could be just a rock or a tree, but anything that just stands out from the rest of the bottom. Like some areas, it's kind of just gravelly, and then all of a sudden you'll just see a big boulder. And it's like, well, I got to at least try this. And if you see some kind of depth change, that's where you want to be throwing. Even if it's nighttime when they're feeding and they might not be there, they're going to come back to there at some point. So it's always a good place if you're looking for somewhere to camp or just to try out. Yeah, structure and rocks. Like I said, I like standalone rocks, not just like a whole bunch of rocks all together. Just something different from the rest of the bottom. That's mainly, and then down on the Potomac, like I said, there's not really structure. It's tidal river. You might find some kind of tree every once in a while. Under the bridges, there's some structure, but mainly it's just a sandy, mucky nastiness. So you're looking for depth changes. It's really just depth changes. And sometimes I fish the flats and I'll drift them, look for ledges, look for holes, that kind of stuff.
Cody asks and says, when flathead fishing, how long do you sit at a spot before you move?
Depends how tired I am that night. But, usually I'll do about a half hour. If I don't get a single bite, I'm moving. Now, tournaments, we fish a lot of tournaments up here. We got a really good series this way. We move a lot more. It's like 25 minutes sometimes, 20 minutes, and we're moving. Until we get in a spot we're really confident, and we'll spend maybe an hour, and if we don't get a bite, then we'll move. But usually, I'm moving within 30 minutes. Sometimes, like when I get out just a weeknight trip, and I don't have a lot of time, I don't want to mess around with anchoring and all that, so I'll just go to a spot that I like and sit there for 3 hours, just because that's going to maximize how much time I can fish on a weeknight.
Gotcha. I'm gonna get back to the rigs and stuff like you're using. What are you using a main line and a leader line, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
What is your leader line?
Okay, I'm not very fancy. I got this stuff right here. It's just the Eagle Claw 80-pound Walmart stuff. I figured Steve Douglas uses it. He mentioned that in a video, and if it's good enough for the fish he catches, it's good enough for me. And I gave it a shot, and I can honestly say it's never let me down.
There you go.
It's way stronger than my main line, so you do run into that issue of you're going to lose everything if you get snagged. But I like it. It's really strong. It's abrasion resistant. It's like $3 or $4 for a spool. So it's never let me down. Ties good knots. I've tried that Cast King leader material. And
Yeah.
actually, and I'm not nothing against a brand or anything. I just didn't like it was so stiff I could hardly tie a knot. So I went back to this eagle claw stuff, and yeah, I've never lost a fish to it.
Yeah. We got a few other people who jumped in the chat. We got John Boys catfishing. Buddy of mine, Dustin down from Tennessee, has jumped in here. We got Mark from Catfishing Crappies jumped in. He was saying hello to you earlier.
Hey, Mark.
Hey,
it's almost that, man.
We got Central Valley's jumped in. Fins and Foul. And I think Liz Wallace, a friend of mine from UK. She's over there in UK right now. It's getting late. I think it's about midnight around there in her time.
Wow. So, hey, thanks for staying up and watching us tonight. Thank you.
Yeah. But yeah. Looks like it says Mark says the suffix leader is good stuff. He uses that suffix leader. So that might be something you might want to try on that one.
I'm open. I'm open for trying new things as a YouTuber. You kind of always want to try something new to show people. So I'd be willing to try that.
Absolutely. Now, when you're going off your leader into your main, are you going with a 3-way swivel or 2-way swivel? Or what are you using to connect them?
Yeah, just a simple barrel swivel. I get the better ones off of where did I get those from? I think it's Bottom Dwellers, but just some heavy duty barrel swivels. The higher grade, the better. Obviously, the higher weight rating, but I've heard people say they can use the Walmart ones and never have them break off, but that just seems like a weak link. So I try to beef it up a little bit.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just a barrel swivel.
You ever tried the Eagle Claw, the metal leader lines?
Nah. So is that it's like a steel leader kind of deal?
Yeah, it's got a steel leader on it. Yeah.
Okay.
It's got its own little weight. Got its own little weight and stuff on it. I think it's got its own swivels and stuff already hooked to it.
Okay, I think I know which ones you're talking about. Yeah, I've used things similar for blue fishing, down there in the ocean, going for bluefish and stripers, but I've never used it for flatheads or any kind of catfish.
Yeah.
So
now when you're talking, go ahead.
Go ahead.
I said when it's kind of off the question a little bit, but Cody asked that says when you're fishing, do you pay attention to the moon phase and stuff?
No, I don't really do that. I probably should just take notes and see when's going to be better, but I've always just fished when I can fish. As long as the weather's not going to be horrid, I'm going to fish if I get a chance to, because it's really one day a week. I'm usually able to get out, and it's whenever I can make it work with my family, so I can get out and fish, and my wife can watch the kids. So it's I don't pay too much attention to that because I'm going to fish anyway. So
Mark had a question for you. It says, have you noticed a prime time when fishing for flatheads?
Okay, so I'll take it as time of day, and maybe you mean time of year, and I can talk about that. But
like a prime time to hit them.
Yeah, so prime time of day, I would say just as it's getting dark to about an hour and a half after that is my favorite time to fish for them. That seems when they just get the most active. And I mean, it seems like there's windows, and it'll be good all the way up to 10:30, maybe even 11, and then it'll just die off. And then in the middle of the morning, they'll start biting again. But I've always had consistent luck right after it's got dark, really, dusk, and an hour and a half after that. Then time of year, spring and fall. It's pretty generic, but April is a really good month in Pennsylvania, and so is September and getting into October. They're feeding really heavily then, and that's just that's the magic time to be fishing. If you can save some vacation days or something like that, get out then. And spring, I'd say the magic time is early morning, like just as it's getting light. That seems to work a lot better for me, at least for flatheads. But my dog decided to take a drink. I don't know if everybody can hear that or not, but yeah, I'd say like right as it's getting light up till about like maybe 8 o'clock in the spring, and then fall I still like it fishing in the evening.
Yeah. I mean, it's part of tackle. Do you keep a fish log or anything to keep track of where you've caught certain fish or anything?
I used to. For a while I was doing that, and I'd forget a trip or two, and then I'd be trying to remember what it is. Now it's just I just go back to my videos. Really, I can, at least I know where I was fishing in those videos, the spots. I try not to show the exact spot I'm fishing.
Okay.
You can't help that, but I kind of just use my own videos to go back and see what I was catching. Yeah. So that's how it works for me. I mean, I don't know all the conditions and the temperature exactly, but it's a pretty good reference.
Yeah. Okay. So we came off your main leader. We're going into your barrel swivel. Now what? Your leader. Now what is your main line? What do you use for your main line?
I use mono. I used to use a lot of braid, and I just got aggravated with it. Just it frays so much. As soon as you get on a rock, it frays. So I went back to mono. I use 30-pound big game, and like I said, I'm fairly simple, fairly cheap. I don't have any issues with that at all, and I get the this green stuff because I just put like a black light on the back of my boat, or a UV light, and it lights up like day. So it's pretty nice. You can see if your line's moving before a flathead takes it down. But yeah, I use the 30-pound just mainly because if you've ever tried to break anything stronger than 30-pound mono in a boat off, like because you're hung up, it's next to impossible. You'll be pulling yourself off the anchor. So 30-pound you can usually break, and I've never really had to worry about fish as long as I take care of the line and it's not like nicked up or anything. I've caught 55-pound fish on 30-pound line. I'm not real worried. You just got to fight them. And a lot of these YouTube guides, they're using 30-pound and they pull in monsters. So it's I'm not against using the heavier stuff. I just don't want to have to deal with it when I'm hung up.
Yeah. So. Mark said that they have dusk, midnight, 4 a.m. and 8 a.m. as prime times on where he's at. Okay. He's up there on that Fox River and stuff.
Yeah. That seems like a pretty cool river up there. One day maybe I'll make it up there to fish it. But yeah, that sounds like some good bite windows. I agree that they are good times around here. But yeah, definitely that dusk. That dusk is my favorite.
You ever? I know that Patriot James is in here. Do you ever use any kind of floats or anything when you're fishing?
No, and when I was on their show and he was talking about that, and I really got excited about it. I was like, yeah, I'm going to try that, and then I just never invested in getting any. One of these days, I'm going to try it. It seems like a good idea, and I want to try planer boards too. I tried that before, and I think I did something wrong. I didn't do too well with them, but the floats seem like a good option because you can really put it far out behind the boat, try to target a hole a lot easier.
Yeah. And then with especially like with the ghost floats, the new ones he's got, they light up. It's got that nice good glow. The whole float glows on those instead of just the top light LED light. Okay. So you can toss it out there, especially at dark time. You can toss it out there, and you can actually see where your line goes in the water. So you're not having to pay attention too much where your tip goes down. You can also see if it takes it off before it takes it under. Mm-hmm. So you can just watch it. So that might be something different.
I definitely gotta add something, either those or something like it, to my arsenal here, because you got to stay up on this stuff when you're doing tournaments. You got to have try everything and try all the tricks, and it's definitely a successful technique. I've seen a lot of people have a lot of luck with it. So it's just something I got to experiment with here.
Oh yeah, definitely. Oh, you're welcome, Patriot James. Anytime, I'll shout out your stuff. I mean, I love mine. I love my Patriot floats. They're cool. I got the pink ones. So they're the pink one for me is bright.
Okay.
And we were out till like I think it was like 1 o'clock at night. So I mean it's pitch dark, and all you see is this pink light just floats, just sitting there floating in the water. So yeah, they're awesome. I love them.
Yeah, I definitely. I've been saying I really got to invest in them and try it. Yeah, I'm sure if I try them, I'm gonna like them.
Yeah, it's like Patriot James just said. It's just another tool.
Yeah.
It's just another tool that you can use to get on, especially to me. I mean, and you probably fish it. You probably fish different depths in the water. You're probably one off the bottom, you're mid, or you're up shallow, or whatever. With those, you can set it up however you want. You can fish. You can set it up to where you're fishing 6 feet underwater to however deep you want it to go underwater.
Yeah, that would definitely be good with blue cats for sure. Because blue cats especially, I target the different sections of the water column, so that'd be really handy.
Yeah, so I mean, you can have one side off at 4 foot, and you have the middle here off at 6 foot, and have this side off at 8 foot into the main channel or whatever, or even farther down.
Yeah, so, instead of having them all just suspended right around your boat, you could have them suspended behind the boat pretty far. Yeah. That is a cool idea. I like that.
Yeah. Mark's saying he's got the itch to go fishing in the morning. Dude, we all got itch to go fishing anytime we can. So, yeah.
Yeah.
He said they're a flathead killer on brush. So, like, especially if you're fishing like a lot of brush areas, the floats will keep it up off that brush, and you can fish right on top of that.
Yeah, that'd be really handy, especially on the Schuylkill River. There's a lot of log jams and brush, and that's usually what you're targeting down there. That would be really nice.
Yep, and you can just float it right up on top of it all.
Yep.
So yeah,
I'm liking this. I'm learning. This is good.
Oh yeah. All right, and we're coming off your. We've talked about you're using the mono 30 pound as your main. What's your rods? What rods have you been using lately, or what rods you tried and stuff in your arsenal?
Okay, well, I like to use the B&M rods, and I don't know how much I can show in the frame, but these Silver Cat Elites, they're pretty pricey for a catfish rod. You don't need to spend this much. Anything's going to work. I like the way they look, but more importantly, I like their action. Because I can fight a channel cat on this and have fun, and I can fight, a giant blue cat, and I'm going to have the backbone that I need. But I've really liked these rods. I finally got all 6 of them. I can only use 3 in Pennsylvania, but down on Potomac it's unlimited. So I want to have 6 rods, and then also have enough for if I take other people out and they don't have anything. And I haven't had anything break or go wrong with them. They're solid rods. They're I think they're the E-glass.
Okay.
I know.
What are those? 8 foot, 7.6, 8 foot? What are those?
They're 7.6 medium heavies.
Medium heavies. Okay.
Yeah, they've got a really nice tip where, when you're casting, it doesn't get all floppy on you, but it's still got enough sensitivity. You can see the light bites when the channels just kind of slowly take it. I don't think they feel the resistance, but then the backbone kicks in right when it needs to.
Gotcha.
Yeah, like I said, I mean, any catfish rod's good. That's just for me. That's what I found. I'm sure if I found another rod before that, I probably would have liked that. I started off with the Silver Cat Magnums, and I really liked them. So I just moved over to these once they came out with it. And it's paying off. It's working for me.
Gotcha. We got a big star in the chat today. We got Epic Catfish, Mr. Tim Scott's in the house.
Hey, Tim.
You're epic. Another question. So during the summer patterns of the flatheads and the blues, where do you primarily fish? Are you fishing channel edges or the shelf, or are you doing or what?
But so for flatheads, I really like to get up in the rocks, like where there's just rocks sticking out of the water, and it just looks, the nastiest stuff you can find. Fishing, 5 to 8 foot of water, and just looking for little holes in there in these big boulders that are sticking out. And you just kind of putz around with the light on, just trying to not run into any submerged rocks, and just find like a little hole, maybe where the current's kind of funneling down into it, and it's just like a little swirl, something like that. That would be my favorite, especially this time of year. Anytime from like May into August, that's kind of what I target for flatheads. There's nothing wrong with fishing deep, though. I know a lot of people that do really well in the Susquehanna fishing deep in the summer, even at night. That's where I'm comfortable. That's where I usually find fish. But I do, if I'm fishing daytime, I will fish deeper, like the 20s to even 50 foot of water. And then I'm just going to be looking for structure in that water. Now, blue cats, in the summer, I don't fish a whole lot for blue cats in the summer because the flatheads are biting and they're a lot closer to me. The closest blue cats I can get into are about 2 hours away, and the Potomac's almost 3 hours. So if I can drive only an hour, which is where most distance, most of the places I go is about an hour away, flatheads, I'm going to do that over going down for blue cats. But blue cats, when I do go fishing for them, I usually just drift. I'll find a flat, some kind of consistent bottom with not a lot of snags, and I'll just drift for them. And because I don't know how to target them too well in the summer. I don't do it that often, so I'm just going to cover as much water as I can and try to put it in front of their face. That's kind of my option or my plan.
Gotcha. We got Ricky's Fishing. We got Ernie Brown, Dr. Frankenstein, and I missed one earlier. Big Slim 91's in the house. Appreciate you all coming in. Like I said, make sure you share it out. If you hadn't, I'm gonna use the word hook set. I'm gonna start using that. If you hadn't hook set the Flatty Days, make sure you do that. Hook him up. Yep. Show the love to him. Man, he puts out some great little videos and stuff. Especially with him and Brandon, TBA, getting up some nice big flatheads.
He's fun to fish with. He's always entertaining. He's always got something funny to say, and he keeps it really interesting the whole night. Lots of laughs, and I always have a blast when I'm out there with him.
Yeah, I had him on the show not long ago. Him and had Kevin with the Caterman.
Caterman, yeah.
I had both of them on the show, and it was a blast. It's just getting into on it. It almost turned into just like a little sideshow because it's just.
Yeah, at one point it almost seemed like Caterman was co-hosting it.
Pretty much. Pretty much.
He's
he about almost took over my entire show for me, but hey, it's okay.
He seems like a natural at it, but I haven't got to fish with him yet, but he seems like a fun person.
We got 24 people in the house. Appreciate you all still being in here. Let's see, what else we got? I don't think I've got anybody else had any questions yet.
But
I think the question that they did pop out, I think they've already answered it. They were talking about the difference between a flat and a channel, which, I mean, it's flatheads usually has the flatter head and they're a little farther out, and the channel's got more of a rounder head, and the color's a lot different too.
Yep, and if you're really struggling, look at their tail. Flatheads have a flat tail. They're the only catfish I know of with a flat tail in the States. So
351 Cleveland just popped in. Appreciate you coming in here. And you were talking about your rods and stuff. What kind of reels do you put on those, or what are you like using?
So I'm a big fan of the Abu Garcia 6500s, the C3s. I really like them. They're a really solid reel. I have actually just started trying these PC Fun Chaos reels, just as something to try. And to be honest, I kind of like them as much as the Abus anymore. it's a question of whether they're going to last long or not. I don't think they're going to be as durable, but yeah, I really like those. What is it? Chaos. I think it's the 60 model. Yeah, the 60.
Let me give you a solo read.
What's that?
So let me give you the solo screen. Hold on a second here.
Oh, okay.
Unless you can show off that.
All right. Yeah, I mean, I'm not endorsed by anybody. It's too small of a channel, but I've been using this guy lately. And like I said, I don't know how long it's going to last. Hopefully it lasts forever. But for $58, I've been loving this reel. It's got more line capacity and actually more drag than the Abus. Aesthetically, it's kind of hard to match it other than like the Muddy River rod, but it's catfishing. Who cares about that? But yeah, it's cast like a dream. The drag's good for a 60 series. It's like 20 pounds or 22 pounds, and it holds a lot of line. And I've been fishing a lot of deeper water lately, so I want something that could hold a lot more of this 30-pound line. And so far, so good. We'll see. I'm putting them through its test this year.
You want to show off that rod a little bit more?
Sure. So this is the butt of the Elite, the Silver Cat Elite. It's got the double lock on it, which is nice, and it's all metal aluminum. And then, yeah, it's got a cool color scheme. Like I said, it's catfishing. That doesn't really matter that much. But one thing I wish this actually glowed with the UV lights. It doesn't. That would be really nice. But yeah, the line lights up, so that works for me.
Yeah.
But yeah, these are 7'6" medium heavy rods, and yeah, I like those as well. So yeah, I also use some Cat Max reels. I don't like them as much. They don't seem to be quite as durable. But yeah, Epic's got something to say there.
Yeah, he said, in my opinion, he said the PC Fun are better than the 6500s. It's a bigger spool, better cranking power. The 65 feel like a thimble spool.
Yeah, I agree. I really didn't want to like them because, Chinese made versus Sweden, but anymore it's really hard to find anything other than a Chinese reel. And when you look at the price, I can't find another reel that compares to it. I'm sure he's put even bigger fish than me on them, but I've had a lot of 40s on these reels, and they didn't have any issues whatsoever. The drag was more than enough, and I never really cranked down on the drag, but I felt like it wasn't like a flimsy piece of crap in my hands. It felt like it could handle the fish. The handle's strong, so yeah. We'll see. Maybe another year I'll be saying bad things about them, but right now I got two of them. I'd probably have three, but I'm just having a hard time putting that $120 Abu, on the shelf and putting a $58 reel on. But yeah, I really do like these PC Funs a lot.
Yeah, they're talking about this. It's hard to get away from an Abu. Said one of them said he owns 9 ambassadors.
Yeah, they're solid reels.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm trying it out. We'll see how it goes.
And we talked about, me and you talked a little bit, and I know you've been helping out some of the guys in your areas, like with Haz and TVA and all of them with their bait fish. Kind of go through a day of your catching your bait fish, like what tackle and stuff like you use for them.
All right. Yeah, that's actually, I've kind of said before in other streams, that's kind of like my secret passion, it's a blast going out there. I use ultralight tackle. I have it's a Field and Stream rod. It's nothing fancy. But it's an ultralight 5. It was a 5.6. I broke the tip off, so it's about a 5 foot now. And I use like a small Tika reel. I don't even know the series. It's kind of been worn off, but it's just a real small reel. And I use 2-pound fluorocarbon for my line. And switching the 2-pound test it doesn't even have to be fluorocarbon, but at least 2 pound tests just made all the difference in the world with catching fish. As far as casting, and it just seems like it get more bites. It makes it more fun because it actually puts a little bit of a challenge when you're catching bait fish. You actually have to pay attention to what you're doing instead of just forcing them in. But then my favorite way, lure pretty much for what I use for them are these just trout magnets. I use usually white or gold body and just a silver jig head. And I catch more fish on these than anything else I've ever used. And it catches so many different types of fish. And my favorite fish to use for bait for flatheads is fall fish. And this thing just tears them up. They can't get enough of them. And it always hooks them, they never swallow it. So if you're trying to keep them alive, it keeps them a lot healthier. But yeah, these things are lethal. And if they stop biting that, you can always change the color. And if they just stop hitting them completely, you take the body off and put a red worm on it, and you'll catch even more fish. So
yeah. I've got a whole thing full of those trout magnets.
Yeah,
it's got all the different colors and everything else on them.
Yep, that's where it's at. It's the secret. It's not really. It used to be like when they came out, that was like only a couple people would use them, and you just see them tearing them up on the river for trout fishing or the creek. Like, what are they using? But now it seems like everybody seems to know about them, which is good. They work. Everybody should be able to use them. And then, that's for flatheads. Like I kind of mentioned, like what bait I like to use. It's the fall fish. I kind of call it like the Pennsylvania skipjack. It's like a big. It's not a herring. It's a member of the chub family, like the creek chub. It's just a really big creek chub. They can get up to like 3 pounds.
I've seen some of the videos where you were passing them along to like TVA and stuff, and you're holding them up. He's holding them up like this right here. And I was like, God, that's a big bait.
That flathead video. Yeah, that was I used some big ones out. A lot of the times what I'm using down on the Potomac, well, pretty much the only thing I use on the Potomac is gizzard shad, and those down there are just massive. It's just like the James River. I mean, these things are like they're about like this big, like 13 inches. Like, you don't really see that too often, but for some reason the Potomac and the James, they're huge, and these huge baits make the big fish, obviously. But you're actually allowed to use gill nets down there on the Virginia waters, on the Potomac and the James. So I'll go out there and gill net, catch 25 or so of them, and I'll be good for 3 or 4 fishing trips with that. I'll vacuum seal them, or I'll give them out to people that I know are looking for bait. But blue cats, gizzard shad, flatheads, fall fish. That's my go-to baits. Channel cats, whatever I got in the freezer. Usually shad, fall fish will work. And then I use live bait. I like live bluegills, but the more I use cut bait for flatheads, the more I'm realizing they like that cut bait, that real fresh cut bait more than anything. And I know different areas of the country, you can make a good argument against that. Like live bluegills will work the best, but at least it seems like in my area, cut bait is just key. I've been catching way more and bigger fish on cut bait lately. So.
Yeah, I hear a lot of people talk about using live bluegill for flatheads. Like they like that live bluegill. Yeah,
there's nothing wrong with it. It's a good bait. Bluegill live, especially the green sunfish. Man, you can't kill those things. So they're quality bait. There's nothing wrong with it.
And the thing is, the weird thing is, like we were talking about at the first. It was me and Trey with Fishmack went out Saturday or Sunday, and we were hitting smallies, like 13-inch smallies in a tiny little creek that we were in.
Really?
But that green sunfish hit hard, just like a smallmouth or a largemouth. I mean, they hit so hard. I'm there going, gosh, for the size they are, they're aggressive.
They're mean. They're mean fish. I don't know what makes them so angry, but they don't give up grudges. That's for sure.
Cody says bullheads work good for best for flatheads.
Yeah, a lot of people use those things, and I think they might be even tougher than a green sunfish. But I don't. Maybe that's just because I don't use them much. But I don't have a whole lot of luck with them. There's been a few times that I've used them and I didn't get a bite. But it's use what you're comfortable with. I always go back to what I'm used to using. So
it also depends on what water you're in too. I mean,
yep.
Because like around here, we've got suckers, we've got we got sunfish, rock bass, things like that, crappie, things like that we can use around here. But I mean, other like your area, we don't have the chubs, we don't have things like that.
Yeah,
around here that we can use. So, but Country Boy's got a question for you. He says, "Do you prefer head or body pieces for your cut bait?"
Head. Yeah, the head is definitely with those fall fish, suckers, creek chubs. They like those heads. I still use at least the first like 2/3 of a fall fish or a sucker fish. I rarely use the tails. Some people really like them, but the heads are my favorite. And then like the kind of like the chunk right before the dorsal fin, depending on how big it is. That seems to have a lot of meat in it, a lot of guts. That seems to work pretty well too. And then the shad around here, as crazy as it sounds, are so big that the heads sometimes are a little too big. Like that's kind of like that giant bait you just throw on there and hope for the best. So I usually use the body chunks with the shad, and I'll even cut the belly chunks out because I mean they're this tall. They're huge. So that belly just it's just hollow. It has all those organs in it, but after it's been in the river for a minute or two, all those organs are gone, and that's just extra space. So I usually cut that off so it doesn't get in the way with the hook set.
Now, when you do a body piece, you try to use like I know a lot of people will take that body piece and they'll cut it so it's almost like a flapper.
Yeah, I've done that, especially with bluegill. But with the shad, no, I just use chunks. It's simple. It stays on the hook well. You can go in through both sides of the skin, so you got the hook going through two really strong pieces. I like that. And the fall fish are a softer fish, so you definitely need both pieces of the skin. And then the head, I go in through the mouth and out through the eye. It seems to hold them on really well. But no, I don't use the strips too much unless I'm targeting like channel cats or, a lot of times I'll throw out a rod with like two smaller hooks, like a double hook rig, and just put two small baits on just to get some action if it's a slow day. And I'll put little strips on for that just to try to catch some little blue cats or something.
Gotcha.
But I know a lot of people have good luck using the strips. Maybe that's something else I need to try. I'm always willing to try something new.
I didn't know. I mean, a lot of people I know, some, not a lot of, but I know some of them they use that flaps part of it. But I didn't know if that's something you have tried before or got any success off of it.
Like I said, I've used it. I haven't really noticed anything better using it that way. But then again, I don't try it that often, so maybe that's why. I keep going back to you use what you're comfortable with. That's always going to be your go-to. It can be hard to branch out and try different things. So maybe my next trip, I'll force myself to use a fillet side of like a fall fish instead, and just see if that works. Or a shad. There's nothing wrong with trying something different.
No. One question's been going around quite a bit in the community and stuff is bait that is not specific to your waters.
Okay.
And most people know what I'm talking about. Chicken.
Yeah.
What is your thought on
chicken swimming around in our river? Yeah.
So what's your thought about using chicken as bait?
It works. You can't deny that it works. It feels wrong using it. I don't know why. It just feels dirty putting a piece of chicken on my hook. But I did use it over the winter when when I was really struggling down there on the Potomac, I mean, I couldn't catch anything. And somebody told me, he's like, just try some chicken. He's like, it sounds crazy, but it'll get you some action. And I put it on, and I did catch the most fish with just regular chicken. I don't even think it had any of the jello or anything. And yeah, I mean, nothing was big that day, so I couldn't really compare it. Like, it was the shad catching bigger fish, but at least that day it did catch fish, and it caught the most fish. I'm hesitant to try it. I don't know why. I just, fish eat fish. That's just, but
Mark,
they do like that chicken.
Mark's putting little chicken emojis with, he didn't see that.
I see that now.
Yeah.
Hey, if you use chicken and you catch fish with them, more power to you. It's convenient. If you don't mind spending a little bit of money getting some chicken breasts, you're always going to be able to get it. There's definitely some benefits to it.
We all used chicken liver.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Everybody.
Use chicken liver.
Yeah. It's a solid bait. Yeah.
Yeah.
I wish it was more solid. It stayed on your hook more, but it works. It works really well. So it goes. It makes sense that chicken works. I don't know. I'm a fish guy.
And there's nothing wrong with that. Honestly, there's nothing wrong with it. I mean, I've even tried there for the longest time. I think during the winter, I was using chicken gizzard.
Okay.
I get some bites, but it nothing. I mean, they just nibble on it, and that was it. So I quit. I mean, I cut cold turkey on that, and now it's straight up bluegill.
Oh wow!
So I don't use anything else besides that anymore. I don't even go. I mean, everybody's like, go do the what was it, the strawberry jello chicken or something like that. I'm like, I'm gonna spend more money on buying the ingredients to make it the strawberry jello than I am just going out and taking, like you said, it's just a passion of yours. Is just go out and bait fish.
Have fun catching the bait too. I mean, it's a win-win.
Maybe the most I'm going to spend is on a thing full of night crawlers or something.
Yeah, and you don't even have to spend money on those. Cricket. So, yeah.
Yeah, they're all saying the chicken, needs to be eaten, not on a hook. And Catfish Hero's in here saying he don't like to handle raw chicken.
Well, yeah, I mean, you're probably not going to get Sabanil from. How? So you say you use a lot of bluegill down your way. How do you like that? Do you use it live, or you cut it, or?
I'll put them on live.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll hook them right on the dorsal fin, and I'll hook them right on top, and just throw them out. And I especially like putting them under the float, especially like that.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense to have them swim around.
Just let them swim.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
But with our, I don't know how big ones you use, but we try to use ones that are smaller than our hands. If they're bigger than our hands, we're actually going to keep them and eat them.
Okay. Yeah. I don't like to get those, use the super big ones. I know some people are like, bigger the better. And yeah, you might catch a monster on it, but you're going to have a slow night in between. I like to use those, ones about this big. That's going to catch any fish out there. Those big ones will eat a smaller bluegill. No problem. So yeah, I don't get massive with them. I don't get too small either. But yeah, hand size or a little bit smaller than your hand. It's perfect. And I usually let the real big ones back just because I figure they're breeding. I'd eat them too. There's nothing against keeping them for eat either. But for bait, I'm not going to keep the big breeder ones. It just doesn't make sense to me.
Parker Pursuit says he loves live carp or buffalo.
Yeah.
So
we don't really have buffalo. I guess in some rivers we do. We don't have much buffalo around. We do have carp. Our state's kind of weird with that. They don't want you to use carp. I think you can use them as cut bait, but it's one of those gray areas. I think it just depends on the warden because it's not spelled out real clear. So I stay away from it. Having a YouTube channel, I try not to use anything that's questionable. But yeah, carp is a solid bait. I know especially those baby live carp. But they're tough and they swim. I mean, they're always moving. They're good bait. I don't mess with them just because questionability of them. So.
Yeah. Appreciate you, 351. He just put in there's 29 in the house and 33 thumbs up so far. Appreciate you. Actually, I think that is the most already while we were still alive.
Wow.
That's awesome. Appreciate you. Yeah, and he also appreciates you sharing out the my PayPal link there. Appreciate you. Yeah, donations are not required, but they are greatly appreciated. To especially keep the channel running, make sure I have all the equipment and everything's paid for our trips, our lives, and stuff that I've got to do. But Sunfish put on there, he likes creek chubs or green sunfish above bluegills, just because the chubs bleed more than the green sunfish and they last longer.
They're oily too.
Yeah, which I can kind of go against that a little bit on the bleeding part. Is we've talked about that with Epic, and I talked that with Dieter Melhorn on the show. Your channel cats and your flatheads don't really taste blood, so the bleeding, I think, to me, is not really going to be a more of an attractive scent to them because they eat it whole. They don't chomp on it and eat it in half.
Yeah. I think I would argue maybe channel cats just because they tend to tear their baits but yeah, flatheads are just going to eat a whole. Blue cats, they're tanks. They'll just eat anything. I don't think they really care if it's live, dead, in pieces. They're just going to eat it. So as far as flatheads, I think you're right. The blood, I don't think that matters quite as much. I just think it needs to have some kind of scent. And that's what. He said creek chubs. They're an oily fish, and so are the fall fish. That's kind of why I like them. They definitely have a lot of scent to them. Yeah, I think that's what makes the difference.
It's more what they're going after is that oily, fishy smell to them. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because they had they had that sensors that almost sense that all their that oily taste, whatever that they give off and stuff.
Yeah, they can hone in on that.
Oh, yeah.
So,
anybody got any other questions or anything? Make sure y'all send it out. Definitely. It's been a great show. We've been live for about an hour now. We still got 28 people in the house. Chris has got a question for you. He says, for catching your bait fish, have you ever tried pet store crickets?
No, and I should, because we got a pet gecko at the house. I always have crickets here for it, so I should try it. I have used the cicadas, and I didn't catch bait fish, but the smallmouth as soon as it touches the water, they go for it. So crickets have to work pretty good too. That's not a bad idea. Catching them would be difficult. I'd have to buy them, and they're getting a little pricey. So I'll probably just stick with my lures because it works. I got them. They're always in my tackle bag. I don't have to worry about keeping them alive. I just hop in the truck and go. As long as they keep working, I'll probably keep using those. But if I start struggling, fish start catching on, maybe I'll have to switch over to these crickets. It's not a bad idea.
No. Yeah, and it's not really a bad idea, no. Yeah, Cody. Yeah, Flatty Daddies is another channel that deserves way more subs. Hook sets, definitely consistent on the flatheads and awesome content. Always.
Thank you, Cody. Thank you.
That's the reason why he's on here. I mean, because he's been putting out the content like crazy, and it's like another channel. Just they're not having the push like you all deserve. Another one is and I had her on here is Paula Smith.
Yeah,
she is a top catfisher, and she just does not have the backing for it.
That is strange because she really gets on them. I don't understand how how it happens now. I mean, me, I don't push the YouTube's like algorithm stuff. I don't really do the whole like subscribe. Like I'm in it because I like making the videos. I like editing, I like sharing my trip. I like being able to go back and look at it. And right now I got where it's at. I can have full conversations in the comments. You know, it's not overwhelming. You look at some of these big channels and it's like you can't communicate with everybody there. There's just no way you have the time for that. You know, like I can recognize a bunch of people in here that comment on my videos and I have full conversations with them. And that, to me, that's really cool. That's what it's about. So if I don't ever get real big, that's, you know, it's okay. I'm not in it for the glory or whatever. Like, you know, I just like making the videos and putting stuff out. If I can share a tip that maybe helps somebody, that's what I like. But I mean, if I do get big, I'm not going to complain about that either.
Here's one from Zachary Rhodes. He said, "Your biggest cats and boat's biggest."
All right, Zach. All right. So my biggest catfish is a blue cat. It's 55 pounds down on the Potomac. And then biggest flathead for me was 43 pounds and some change. And I guess that's the biggest boat one too. And then our biggest channel cat we just got this year, Chad got it. That was 18 pounds and like 18.3 pounds. And it was in a tournament. That was pretty nice.
Not bad at all.
No, our channel cats, you know, rarely get above 13 pounds around here. So that was pretty cool.
And that's most people's channel cats don't get that big. I think they were doing something up on Mendota, and they were talking about that's where the channel cats get a lot bigger up there.
It's weird. They're like one of the only fish that the further north you go, the bigger they get.
Yeah.
And, I don't get that because, you know, they do feed throughout the winter, but not as heavily. So you would think they'd have smaller feeding windows and they wouldn't be as big. But no, the further north you go, the bigger they get. So
Ricky's fishing adventure wants to know, said, "Who is your favorite fisherman to watch and learn from?"
To watch and learn from would probably be Kayak Catfish. He just because he's always putting out exactly what he's doing. You know, it's no fluff. It's just, this is how I'm fishing. This is what I'm using. Probably the one I find the most entertainment, just enjoy watching, is Hooked Catfish. It's a down to earth fishing. You know, it seems like he does a lot of the same stuff I do. So I like Hooked Catfish and TBA. You know, he's always fun to watch. I don't know, it's putting me on the spot like that. It's kind of hard. There's so many good channels out there. You know, all the big ones you end up watching, like River Certified and all that, just because he's pretty entertaining too. But yeah, there's so many good ones out there anymore. You don't just have to watch the big names. But,
Speaking of other fishermen, who is somebody that you've been dying to get out there to go fishing with now?
Ooh.
That you've not already fished with? Because I know you fished with TBA and a few other and a few others like that. Who is somebody you can, especially if you got to travel?
I'd like to fish with Mark from Catfish and Crappie. He seems like a blast to fish with, and the Hooked Catfish and Ryan and all those guys out there. It just seems like a cool crew. I'd love to get out there, but that's, you know, Illinois. That's the other side of the country almost. So I don't know if it'll ever happen, but that'd be fun. So
you watched much of Epic and all them?
Yeah. Well, that's another guy I didn't think about it, and he's on here too. That's even worse. But
him and Sean both are on here. Yep.
Those guys. I mean, you can learn so much from just watching one episode of him. He slows down what he's doing. He's like, you know, this is why I'm doing it. This is why I'm targeting it. This, you know, that's a very informative man. Both Tim and Catfish Heroes, like they're very, very knowledgeable people, and I'd love to fish with them if I could ever make that happen.
Yeah. I I mean, it's just. I mean, he's on here, so I mean, it's just like all you got to do is get yourself over there. I
Yeah.
guarantee you, he'll get you out there.
Well, I might maybe someday I'll have to work out that way and build another day into it or something.
Yeah.
I have areas I could work out that way, so maybe it'll happen. I can get as
Yep.
far west as Michigan.
Yeah. Yeah, there. Let's see. We've got any other questions here.
Okay, so
I don't know if
yeah,
you've
it
been
looks
on
like
there or not, but Chris said something about will you be on Catfish Weekly soon? Have you been?
yeah, I've
I
been
don't
on
know if
Catfish Weekly. He was
I,
talking about maybe doing a live stream, like when I'm fishing, like do the
there you
show
go.
while I'm fishing. Um, I'm still waiting for them to really turn back on. They're kind of coming. They're right on the edge of the end of the spawn right now. It seems, and I'm still getting them, but it's slower. So I don't really want to do a live stream until I know the odds are a lot better. You know, I don't
Yeah.
really want to make people watch my rods not pinned down. So,
I don't know. I had a 2-something hour video of Thursday of me catching nothing on a creek. So hey,
hey, that's live streaming though. I mean, it's
I don't know.
you never know, and that's part of it.
Yeah.
It's almost like a gamble. You know, you see what's going to happen, but you go there for the fun. You know, talking, the community, everybody. Like catching a fish is a bonus. You know,
Yeah.
I don't know. I have a hard time doing that. Like I feel like I'm too monotone. I don't keep a conversation going long enough. I'd rather have action going on. And
Oh yeah.
somebody like you're a host. You know how to do that kind of stuff. You can make it interesting the whole time. So I do plan on doing more live streams just when the action is good. You know.
Yeah. When you got more. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
Especially
understand. I mean, a lot of people don't want 2, 3, 6 out. Depends on how long some of these guys I know, like Haz and Chunky and Paul Mel, they put on 6, 7, 8 hour lives.
Yeah.
But if you ain't got no action, that's hard to.
That
to
becomes
do
work
if you
at
ain't got
that
action on
point.
them.
I mean, you really gotta be quick witted and be able to talk and come up with things to talk about and keep the conversation going. And maybe one day I'll be there. Maybe I'll do that. But it kind of changes the way you fish too.
Yeah.
I did it. I only went live once, and it was fun. It was a great time, but I didn't want to move. You know, I felt like I kind of had to stay in that spot because I didn't want to be driving my boat on live stream and doing all the anchoring and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So I stayed in a spot much longer than I planned on. And you know, certain times of year that's okay. You can sit in a spot and catch fish all night long. But I think I'm going to play it by what the fish are doing before I go live again.
I can speak for most of the guys in here that've seen some people that's been live on the boats, especially the ones that are you got to get up and move and go to the fish. We don't mind that little ride that you've got to get going to the other side.
Yeah.
Because we're going to be there. We're going to be there 100% is watching it no matter what.
Yeah, the catfish guys are die hard. I'll tell you what, they'll stick through anything, even if strong wind. I've been there when the wind was really strong and people still listen and watch.
Yep.
And, I've watched a lot of P City's live streams, and he moves. He's got to move, and I'll stick with it through that too. So it's just something I got to get used to doing.
Oh yeah.
Sounds like the kiddos are coming back, so you're going to hear some kid noise in the background. They're out.
That's fine. I don't worry about it. Mine's upstairs right now. I can kind of hear her voice a little bit in the background. So, what is we're going to get back on some tackle stuff. What is something on your tackle that you've been wanting to get a hold of, wanting to buy? What kind of tackle is in the future for you? When it comes to your boat, your fishing stuff, what?
Well, I really want to get probably some of those bobbers, those floats. That is definitely something I got to try. I've talked about it a couple times now, and I got to do it. So that's probably the number one thing I'm going to try, are floats. Other than that, I got to experiment more with planer boards. I have 2 of them. I don't know if they're really up for the weights I use, but I'm at the point I'm lucky. I got just about everything I could use. Now it's getting into the expensive stuff. Like my one GoPro's acting up on me. It keeps shutting off and it doesn't beep anymore, so I don't know if it's shut off. So
Yeah.
that's the next thing I have to get is either fix my GoPro or get a different one, just because it's affecting the videos. And I'm putting out videos that I'm not happy with right now because the GoPro cuts out, and I'm using the one behind me for audio, and it's terrible. So that has to come first. But yeah, I'd say floats is the number one thing tackle wise that I want to invest in and try.
Okay. I've got that. I'm working on the announcement that we were talking about earlier.
Yeah.
So we're going to have that here in just a little bit. But anybody else have any other questions? I know a lot of y'all are talking about going to Illinois, doing some fishing and stuff. I know Avid's been trying to get on some banks and fish, but every time he gets out there, it's a flooded area on him. So it's been hard on him for a lot. Yeah. Sean with Catfish Hero said that you get on huge shad out there. Yeah, and we were talking about that earlier. That they're pretty good size. He was talking about they're around 3 pounds.
Yeah, well, the ball fish are 3 pounds. The shad, I've never weighed them. I don't really know, but they got to be over a pound. I mean, they're huge. We're very fortunate to have bait fish like that in our area. Well, sort of our area. I mean, it's 3 hours for me, but it's worth the trip.
Yeah. Yeah, Epic's been trying to get back out on the waters and stuff. He's waiting on his new lives. 351, appreciate you sharing out Flatty Daddies link there. Make sure you all hook him up.
Thank you.
Comment, watch some videos. Make sure you're still hooked on to him. I know if you see everybody else's and you're seeing your own, our subscribers are dropping. They come down, they come back up, they come down. It's because you're not watching videos, you're not commenting, you're not giving a thumbs up. You at least got to keep on watching some videos after so much a period of time. If not, YouTube will drop you out of it. So.
Oh wow. Okay.
That's right. If you got so many and you see like you got a drop of 20 something people, it's because YouTube dropped them because they're not watching any of your content anymore. Huh. They've sat there for a certain period of time, and YouTube's like, okay, they're not watching you. They're not interested. We're going to drop you from them. So
that YouTube's ruthless. I know that. I mean, they don't care how well you did in the past. It's what you're doing right now.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm definitely hoping to get back out onto the creek this next week. Went out Sunday, and water was perfect. It was clear. So I know the water, hopefully if it doesn't rain between now and Thursday, we're going to be set. We're going to be set, and we're going to be on some fish, definitely. But
I hope you get into them.
Yeah, really we're hoping.
Yeah, you guys probably haven't got much rain down that way either, huh?
We did last week. Tuesday, Wednesday. Tuesday we had thunderstorms Tuesday night, thunderstorms Wednesday night, and then Thursday it was like rain all day.
Okay.
And then I went out live in the creek, and it was drizzle rain the whole time I was out there. Like it was spots where I'd get clear and I was able to fish, but because of the humidity and the rain and everything, my phone was just messing up while I was out there. The phone wanted to shut completely off on me. Okay. So it was not a good one, but I didn't want to delete it off YouTube because I did get well over 100 something views on it, so I was like, I'm not deleting it. It worked out for me. So I'm like, even though it was stunk and I got skunked, I'm okay.
It's
a
up
fishing.
there, and you don't need to take it down. There's no reason to do that.
No, not at all. So I'm waiting for our announcement person to respond back. I don't know if he will or not, but one thing I always ask everybody that comes on here, if somebody was trying to get into fishing, especially catfishing, what is your suggestion to them about tackle if they're just starting getting into it?
I'd say don't get caught up with like spending as much money as possible to get, to catch fish. You see that a lot. People, they're constantly buying new rods because they can't really seem to catch fish, and they just think, oh, I'll buy a new rod or new reel or new line, and then I'm going to start catching fish. Don't do that. The tackle is important, especially keeping up with it, but it's time. You just got to get out there and look for these fish and spend the time on the water. That's going to get you more fish than an expensive fishing reel or rod. You got to learn them, especially flatheads. They're not like a normal catfish. They're not just out there mindlessly eating. You got to figure them out and know where they're at in your water. Hooks, a good hook is probably worth more than spending money on a good reel. Get a hook that's going to stay sharp, that you're comfortable setting a hook with. If you get circle hooks, don't get frustrated with them. Just use them for a while. You'll figure them out. But yeah, tackle is definitely important, but it's not the most important thing for catching these flatheads. You just got to spend that time and figure out when they feed, where they feed, what they're feeding on, all that stuff before you get bogged down with tackle. But that being said, there is some merit to find the more expensive stuff if you get into it and you like it. Spend the money on like a reel or something. Any rod's going to catch a catfish. It really just depends on what action you like how heavy of a weight you're going to be throwing, how much current. You might want to get a stiffer rod, but the more expensive reels are going to last longer typically. The pens, the abus, they do last a lot longer. But some of these cheaper reels are really they're changing the game too, like we were talking about earlier. So I don't know. I wouldn't get bogged down with name brands and what the latest fishing rod is. That's going to fade. There's going to be another catfish rod out there soon. You see it every week. There's another cool color or something like that. That's not going to catch you your fish. But it just get you the line. You don't have to spend a lot of money on line. Just make sure it's in good shape. Every time you catch a fish or every time you're hung up, check your line. Did you get a nick in it, a fray? Check that kind of stuff. That's what's going to catch you more fish, in my opinion, anyway.
And speaking of the line, I mean, it also depends on where you're fishing at. If you're going to, if your area is more rocky, don't go for braid. Go for mono.
Yeah, I had to learn that the hard way. That's just
because I mean, we all talk about get you the best line for the cheapest price you can get it, but we also got to throw it out there is make sure you're getting the line for the area you're fishing in too. Because if it's all rocks, you definitely don't want braid.
If you're fishing somewhere like the Potomac or a lake or something like that, doesn't have much, use braid. I mean, you can put a lot more on your reel. You don't have to have a big reel to hold all the line you need. There's nothing wrong with braid as long as you watch it and you're looking at it, make sure you're not getting a frays. It's in good shape. Yeah, I'm not against braid at all. It's just you gotta use it in the right conditions.
Berkeley big game rods, 40-pound mono. I mean, you don't even have to go 40-pound. I mean, even 30-pound will be significant enough.
Yeah, I used 20 for a while. I I started catching bigger fish and got a little nervous using 20, so I stepped up to 30. Still haven't broke a fish off because the fish was too big. It's because of neglect of the line. I got hung up. That just happened. You can fish. I've been doing it for 10 years or more. I still get lazy and I don't check my line. I just lost a big fish in a tournament. I mean, I fought it for a while and it broke. I pulled it up and you could just feel the whole line was torn up. And I had been snagged, I don't know, 15 minutes before that in the same hole. And I just never checked and I lost the fish. It's just, you just got to take care of your stuff.
Oh, yeah. Abbott said 17-pound Cajun line.
Okay. Yeah, I've heard good things about Cajun line.
Yeah.
Never used it, though.
Sean, yeah, you talk about Trey having some nice smallmouths in his last video. He'll be putting out here soon. Hopefully a video from our Sunday trip. So it's gonna be fun watching some of the ones that we got on it. And they're like little small 13-inch smallmouths fighting like they're 17, 18-inch ones. So,
yeah, we were talking about mean fish earlier. That's a mean fish right there. Oh my God, there's no quitting those things. They just keep going.
Oh yeah. Yeah, and we were getting tied up, and the thing is, they were swimming between our legs, tying us up between our legs and our tripods and everything else. It was crazy how they were all over the place. There's muskrat in the house. Appreciate you coming in, Roger. Everybody, make sure at 8 o'clock you do go over to Roger's channel and watch him. He's got open mic night tonight. So if you haven't been in his live yet, you have the opportunity to get in and talk to him, talk to everybody in chat. So that will be an interesting night for an open mic for people that hadn't really got in there and be able to get their voice out and been seen. So that'll be awesome to get in there and watch that.
All right.
Epic's planning on a trip here soon. They're going after some flatheads. So we still got 21 people in the house. Appreciate you all coming in.
I'll be looking forward to that video, that epic catfish video if he's chasing flatheads. I learn another tip or two from him. That'll be nice.
Yeah, and he's been the last couple times he's liking this going live. So it's going to be interesting him going live if he's got an area that's going to do it. So, but I don't know if he's going to show up or not. But we'll go ahead and make the announcement. Y'all know that I've been running a Dock Demon Ugly Stick Whisker Seeker challenge for the last month now. Sunday, July 4th was the last day of the challenge. We had only one entry that made it in the qualifying size. I know a lot of y'all have tried. Avid has tried. Creo has tried. A few others have tried to get in there to get their fish in the weight category. But y'all have seen it probably. But the winner of the Dock Demon Challenge is Dan from Green Machine Outdoors. Caught a 60.4 blue cat on a Ugly Stick dock runner. So congratulations to Dan Green Machines. I've got his address. He is going to be getting some prizes from Patriot James Floats. He's going to get a prize from Uncle Lou's Tackle. He's going to get a shirt and some stickers from Has Life. Lyle from Catfish Weekly and Panfish Weekly is putting together some jigs for him. So he's going to get a box of hand-tied jigs for him. And Mark from 2.0
Fishing Magician.
Fishing Magician 2.0 is going to send him a gift card.
Oh,
so
wow.
congratulations, Dan. I know you're not in the chat, but I will mention him later and tell him congratulations. But everybody, congratulations. Definitely go over there. He did put a video out of him catching it. It's a little lengthy video, but it was awesome. Him catching a 60.4 pound blue cat on basically a 2-foot rod. It snapped mostly way through the video, and he still reeled it in on just the reel itself and landed.
I couldn't believe he got that in. That was insane.
I honestly didn't think he was going to get in, but that's the testament on a ugly stick rod and reel with 30-pound mono on it. So it was just awesome that he caught that big of a beast. So yeah. Congratulations, Dan at Green Machine Outdoors. But if anybody else has got any questions, you have any comments or anything, any questions for me or anybody in the chat?
I mean, I had a great time on here. This is really fun. I usually get nervous for these things, but I had a good time. Great host. The chat was really smooth. Everybody was asking questions. It was a great time. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, I appreciate you coming on, definitely. And we've been talking a little bit, and we'll keep on talking, definitely.
Cool.
After this. But yeah, appreciate you all coming in here. We still got 20 people in the house. Make sure you do go over and hit up Roger with Muskrat Adventures for open night, Mike night. So everybody, make sure you hit up Flatty Daddies for his channel. Make sure you watch his stuff. Appreciate you guys. It is a great show. Great actually meeting you in person.
Yeah.
Even though it's over the video.
Well, this is the new in person, I think, with everything going on right now. So
yeah.
This is this is great meeting you too, man.
Yeah. And keep putting out that great videos, man. Everybody's liking them. They're saying in the chat that your videos are just awesome videos. Keep putting them out. Hopefully,
a quick plug right now. What's that?
I said hopefully we'll see some more collabs with you with some other people here soon. Hopefully.
I'll plug it a little bit. I mean, I do have a lot of content coming out. I've been very fortunate during the spawn. Like, haven't caught a lot each trip, but I've been catching solid fish throughout. So yeah, there's a lot of big flathead action, and I just had a good blue cat fishing trip. So yeah, big catfish are going to keep on coming out. I just got to find time to edit them through work and everything.
Yeah. And that's always with videotaping and instead of doing lives is you've got to find that time to sit down and edit and go through and
yeah, they may not look like it, but most of my videos take a minimum of at least 6 hours. I'll spend 8-10 hours on them a lot of times. Just I don't know. Maybe I'm just not efficient at it, but I don't know. I take a long time with my videos. So
yeah. Make sure y'all check in on next week on what's in your tackle on this channel. We've got the weekend anglers coming on, the ditch pickler. So we're going to talk about his specialty. We're going to talk about a little bit about bait fishing and catfishing as well, definitely. But we've got him coming on next week. And I know Roger's probably still in here unless he's already left to get ready for his show. But I think we are going to have him and his rest of his River Warriors on here. So we're going to have him and Zach and Skip on here the week after that. So we're gonna have all three of the River Warriors on here after that. And then we're going to go in, and I think we're going to have some kayak night. So we're going to bring some of the kayak guys down here, and we're going to talk kayak fishing and what tackle they use. So
that'll be cool. That'll be real cool.
Yep. There's Roger. He said the River Warriors will be ready. So yep. So yeah, definitely look for that in about a couple of weeks. So we'll definitely it's going to be pretty cool having all three of them on here, and we're going to get into some tackles that all three of them use. So it's going to be a fun night, and we don't know where it's going to go, but it's going to be interesting having all three of them at the same time. So I know they kind of go at each other a little bit on their lives and stuff. So let's see how they go on this one when they're all three in the same video. So
that'll make it fun. That'll make it real fun.
Oh yeah, absolutely. But appreciate you all coming in. Still 21 people in the house. Make sure you hit thumbs up, share it out. Make sure you go over to Flatty Daddies, hit him up, watch his videos, man. He's got some awesome content. But hopefully Thursday we'll go live from the creek, from a different spot. So we'll do some creek fishing again. Hopefully get on some good smallies, and hit some big largemouths, and definitely some rock bass. So Cory, stick around just a little bit after the show when we close out. We'll talk a little bit after the show. But everybody, appreciate you coming in. We'll see you all later. And this is peace. See you all.
Thanks. All right.